Palestine. This is a victory of the movement, and it is a victory against Trump, Rubio, and all of those who conspired to silence Mahmoud, and by extension, all of us. For more than 104 days, the Trump administration illegally and cruelly held Mahmoud in an ICE detention facility far from his family and community in Gina, Louisiana. Mahmoud was never charged with a crime, but was instead deemed a grave national security threat. This for a simple belief held by the majority of the world's people. Israel's genocidal war in Gaza is wrong. Its creation of thousands of orphans, of parents forced to bury their young children, its slaughter of healthcare workers, civil servants, and all of those who make up and run society is wrong. Its more than 17-year siege on Gaza is wrong. Its current starvation campaign, its attempt to turn humanitarian aid, basic necessities, food, water, all of that which sustains life into a weapon of war, all of this is wrong. The many wars of aggression on the Palestinian people, which have created countless refugees like Mahmoud and deprived hundreds of thousands of fathers, mothers, cousins, and brothers of sharing tender moments with their family, this is all wrong. So if this is wrong, brothers and sisters, friends, community members, and people of conscience, then what is it that's just? What is just and what is right is to struggle against all of this. What is just and what is right is to struggle and to fight and to build a world in which the Palestinian people enjoy independence and are able to live freely. This is what Mahmoud stood for. Mahmoud understood the difference between right and wrong, and he acted on this, joining all of you, joining hundreds of thousands across the globe in the movement for Palestine. He chose this, he took up this choice, he fought every single day, he spoke out, he organized, he negotiated, he left no stone unturned in fighting for his people, in building this movement. And for this, he was attacked by Trump, by Rubio, by Holman, by Columbia University, and this entire constellation of forces. In fact, he chose this path and he never strayed from it. He, even from jail, in a brazen attempt in stripping of Mahmoud of his constitutionally protected right to free speech and to assembly, he never strayed from this path. Rather than inspire fear or silence in him and in the rest of the Palestine movement and in Palestinians broadly, the exact opposite happened. Today we are proud to say that the Trump administration's plan has resoundingly failed. Mahmoud is free. Mahmoud is free. Rumaisa is free. Dr. Pedro Khansuri is free. Mohsen Mahdawi is free. And rather than being cowered by Trump's attacks, thousands of ordinary people are moved to continued action. As we said at the top of this, and as Layan has said, this and this alone is what has guaranteed Mahmoud's freedom. And as Mahmoud consistently reminded us from his cell in Gina, Louisiana, this organizing, this movement building, this coming together as ordinary people to build our power, to say what we stand for, to assert our agenda, this is capable of so much more. This is capable of ending Israel's genocide in Gaza. This is capable of stopping the brutal, horrific deportation raids that are transpiring across all immigrant communities today in America. This is what will beat back ICE. This is what will lead to a free Palestine. This is what will stop Israeli, U.S. aggression in Iran and around the world. And this is also what Mahmoud asks of us. And I know every single one of us today is committed to fighting for Mahmoud and for fighting for what he believed in for the long haul. Today is a victory. It is a victory that moves us not to complacency and content and khalas, we finished, but it moves us to continued action. It moves us to take on Mahmoud's steadfastness. It moves us to renew our commitment. It moves us to look around us and understand that our answers are coming from the person right next to you. All of us together, in motion. And it moves us most immediately to join in the organization that played a critical role in fighting for Mahmoud's freedom, in standing up against genocide, and in fighting for a better reality for the people of the world broadly, Palestinians, immigrants, and all. Brothers and sisters, I want everyone here who's committed to continuing to follow Mahmoud's example, to join us at 6:30 Monday night at the People's Forum for the weekly volunteer meeting. And at a critical time, when the future of humanity is threatened by Israeli and United States aggression in Iran, the potential to spill over into a global conflict, now is the time to continue to act, and now is the time to join us in Washington, D.C. this Saturday at 1 p.m. So brothers and sisters, as we get ready to greet Mahmoud, as we get ready to commit and hold these commitments for the long term, let us chant, let us build our confidence, let us build our energy and excitement, and I want everybody to repeat after me. Welcome home, Mahmoud Khalil. Welcome home, Mahmoud Khalil. Welcome home, Mahmoud Khalil. Thank you, brothers and sisters.
All right, friends, brothers and sisters, we're getting close to hearing from Mahmoud. We're going to now transition. Mahmoud's legal team is going to speak to the press, send a message to the press. Then Mahmoud will come out. If you can't see him at first, don't worry. Be patient. He's going to come down here and speak to all of us directly.
Excuse me.
All right? Keep the spirits up, energy high, and welcome home, Mahmoud.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but like I don't know whose board that is, but sorry.
Should I just like start the intro while they're setting up, or okay? Welcome, everybody.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you all for being here today with us for this momentous and celebratory moment of welcoming Mahmoud Khalil home. My name is Abir Kawas. I am the Associate Director of Partnerships at CLEAR at the CUNY Law School. Thank you. I will be shepherding us through the program today. Today we will be hearing from Mahmoud's legal team, his supporters, and finally from Mahmoud himself. I want to acknowledge that I understand there's a lot of people who cannot see the stage right now. Don't worry, Mahmoud will come down to address the crowd. As for now, we're going to go through with the program, and then we're going to have a Q&A section afterwards where some of the legal team and Mahmoud will answer questions to the press. Thank you. So we're first going to start with remarks by one of the amazing Columbia students, Suwaida Polat.
Hello, everyone. When Mahmoud was first abducted this Ramadan, it felt like the world fell apart for his family and friends. In a matter of minutes, he had been transformed from someone we knew and loved into almost a ghost. We could no longer hear his voice or see him laugh around the dinner table, except through the occasional telephone. Today, more than 3 months later, and 104 days too late, Mahmoud has been returned to his beautiful baby and to Noor. While we are beyond happy to see him at his home, it's not gratitude or contentment that we feel at his release. Not when we see hundreds of people snatched from their families by masked men at courthouses, in schools, in hospitals, and everywhere in broad daylight. Our happiness will not be complete without their freedom too. We cannot feel grateful to a system that declares a man free today and jailed the next based on arbitrary laws. We cannot be grateful. We cannot be grateful when it's the same United States of America that is daily and shamelessly massacring thousands in Palestine and, as of last night, in Iran. Under any administration, Democrat or Republican, genocide in this country is bipartisan. I want us to know something. I want us to know something that all student protesters already know. It's not the law that saves people. It's not institutions where our freedoms lie. It's people who save other people. It's people who save other people by refusing to cower to racist systems that deny us our humanity. The joy that we have experienced today at Mahmoud's release is the same joy that we will experience once Palestine triumphs over colonization, once every refugee is returned to their rightful home, and once every prisoner escapes the jail cell. We reserve our joy and our hope for that day. Free Palestine!
Thank you, Suwaida. Thank you for everything that you do for the student movement and for everything you've done to support Mahmoud. Up next, we will have Professor Rashid Khalidi. Professor Khalidi is the Edward Said Professor Emeritus of Modern Arab Studies at Columbia University.
Thank you all for coming. It's a wonderful sight to see so many people supporting a free Palestine, free Mahmoud, and I hope also willing to support an end to the war that just started in Iran. I'll talk about that a little bit in a minute. I want to start by paying tribute to Mahmoud and Noor. For those of us who watched them on TV for the past 3 months, they've been a symbol of dignity and calm and have been an inspiration, I think, to all of us. In spite of all that he's been through, in spite of all she has been through, in spite of all their child has been through, he has shown us, I think, an example that we can all follow. I want to also thank his lawyers and the many, many, many lawyers who have been fighting to free detainees, fighting to free prisoners of conscience who spoke out against genocide on American campuses, fighting to free people who are themselves freedom fighters, which is what Mahmoud is and was. I want to thank all of you, not just for being here, but for the steadfastness that supporters of Palestinian rights, supporters of an end to this genocide in Gaza have shown over 2 very hard years. You are an inspiration. This support is felt in Palestine, it's felt the world over. And I think that it's really, really important. We should recognize that what we are doing has an effect, even if our governments refuse to recognize it, even if our elites refuse to recognize it, even if the mainstream corporate media refuses to recognize it.
4 years ago, 1 year ago, 4 blocks north of here, I spoke the day after New York City police stormed Hind Hall and the university campus was locked shut. I said on that day that students at campuses across this country and across the world who opposed and oppose genocide in Palestine were on the right side of history. They still are. We still are. History will judge the war criminals who have slaughtered tens and tens of thousands of innocent civilians in Gaza, starving them, letting them die of thirst, of their wounds, funding, arming this genocide. History will judge them. We, you, are on the right side of history in this struggle. This has become a global movement, even though the genocide has not only continued, but has accelerated. It now represents an overwhelming majority of the world's population. Corrupt and rotten governments notwithstanding, the people are with us. In this country and in Western Europe, the countries that are participating in this genocide have populations which are overwhelmingly supporting an end to this genocidal war and will, I'm sure, overwhelmingly support a halt to the war that Trump started yesterday with Iran. Now, this war is not just Trump's war. This is a war instigated by the same war criminal who is waging a war on the Palestinian people, Benjamin Netanyahu. He has been whispering in the ears of American politicians since the 1980s. For 40 years, he has been trying to instigate an American war on Iran. And this president, who is completely incapable of understanding the lessons of every single previous disastrous American intervention in the Middle East, succumbed to his blandishments. They will be judged by history for what they've done. I'm going to end by reading what Representative Rashida Tlaib said yesterday. She said, President Trump is sending U.S. troops to bomb Iran without the consent of Congress. This is a blatant violation of our Constitution. The American people do not want another forever war. The American people do not want another forever war. Even Trump's supporters do not want another forever war. I continue with what Rashida said yesterday. We have seen where decades of endless war in the Middle East gets us, all based on the lie of weapons of mass destruction. We are not falling for it again. Instead of listening to the American people, Trump is listening to war criminal Netanyahu, who lied about Iraq. You can see it on YouTube anytime. He was lying through his teeth then. He's lying through his teeth now. And she concluded, Congress must act immediately to exert its war powers and stop this unconstitutional act of war. But we, the people, must act to stop this war. We did it decades ago during the Vietnam War. We did it decades ago during the Iraq War. We must do it again. We can't count on politicians. The people have to stop this war in Gaza and in Iran. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Khalidi. We want to give thanks to the Columbia community who is out here today to support Mahmoud. And like we said, thank you. And like we said, Mahmoud will soon be out here with you all. And we thank you all for being part of that process. And right now, I want to give a specific thank you to all of the amazing team of lawyers that got Mahmoud home and that continue to fight with him today. We want to thank Amy Greer of Graytel Lewis, the Center of Constitutional Rights, the Center for Constitutional Rights, clear. Thank you all. Okay, I'm gonna do that again as Mahmoud has come out to honor all of those who have been part of the amazing team who has brought Mahmoud home for us to be with today. We want to thank Amy Greer of Drayton and Lewis, the Center for Constitutional Rights, CLEAR at the CUNY Law School, the American Civil Liberties Union, the New York Civil Liberties Union, the ACLU of New Jersey, the ACLU of Louisiana, Vanderhout LLP, and Alina Das at the Immigrant Rights Clinic at New York University School of Law. Alina will come now to speak on behalf of the legal team. Thank you all.
Thank you. I know I speak for everyone who's part of the legal team to say how overjoyed we are that Mahmoud is finally home. What happened on March 8th marked the beginning of a new chapter in this nation's long history of injustice. The pain and trauma that Mahmoud and Noor have endured over the last 3.5 months is something that no family should ever have to face, especially when they're in the process of welcoming a beautiful new life into this world. But this chapter in history is not only about pain and suffering and oppression. This new chapter in history is also about resilience, about compassion, about wisdom, and the power of community. These are the values that Mahmoud and Noor have lived every day through this ordeal. This victory is their victory, and this victory is your victory, because all of you have been there with them, on the streets, in the courtroom with us, in all the big and small ways that matter, showing up for this family and expressing your commitment to human rights in the United States and, of course, in Palestine. As lawyers, we take our cue from the people. From the moment that Amy Greer and Kyle Barron stepped in, racing across the clock to file Mahmoud's habeas petition at 4:40 a.m. as our government was trying to disappear him, an extraordinary legal team has come together, including all of the people who are standing here in front of you and many who live in all parts of the nation who couldn't be here today, but were fighting every step of the way. But I have to say, I think everyone on this amazing legal team would agree that the driving force behind the legal case is our unofficial lead counsel, Mahmoud Khalil, who has always been his own best defender for himself and for his people. So where are we in the legal proceedings? Our federal case is ongoing, and the legal arguments boil down to this. No matter what power the federal government claims to have over the lives of immigrants, the U.S. Constitution forbids them from using that power to punish or silence immigrants for exercising their rights of speech and expressing their viewpoints. That is the issue that is going to play out in courts. The federal court has already found that the government's reliance on an arcane foreign policy ground of deportation is likely to violate due process. And as you all know, after giving the government every opportunity to justify Mahmoud's detention or contest our evidence, the government failed to do so. And on Friday, the federal court ordered his release. But this case is far from over. The government has already filed a notice of appeal of the release order, and the same day that the federal court ordered Mahmoud's release, the immigration judge ordered his deportation, even on the basis of the vague foreign policy ground that the federal court already ruled that this government cannot rely on. We are in for a long fight. And make no mistake, this fight is a fight for Mahmoud, but it is also a fight for all of us. When the US government tries to silence Mahmoud, they are not only violating his First Amendment rights, they are depriving us all of our First Amendment rights. And not just because many of us watched what happened to Mahmoud and Noor in horror and fear that the same thing might happen to us or the people we love because we speak out. It's also because the First Amendment protects not only the right to speak, but it protects everyone's right to listen. The First Amendment helps ensure that the government cannot control the debate by silencing dissent, so that we, the people, can hear all sides and judge for ourselves what is right and wrong. If that gets taken away, everything else we hold dear in our democracy will begin to crumble. So remember that. The US government has accused Mahmoud, this incredible husband, father, and Palestinian human rights leader, of being a threat. But the opposite is true. The greatest threat that anyone could pose to our democracy would be to stay silent in the face of injustice. If we do not speak up now to defend our values, to defend the Constitution, we will lose those rights. What happens to Mahmoud is happening to all of us. So thank you, Mahmoud, for the privilege of allowing us to be your lawyers. And thank you, Mahmoud, Noor, and to everyone gathered here for fighting for us all.
Thank you, Alina. And again, thank you to the entire legal team who has worked on Mahmoud's case, including Mahmoud himself. Okay, so I just want to reiterate that I understand that a lot of you cannot see what's happening on stage right now. We promise you that you will all have a chance to see Mahmoud and his wife Noor, to lead you and to welcome into the movement. I want to now pass the mic to someone who has stood steadfastly by Mahmoud throughout this entire ordeal. Okay, I'm going to welcome someone who has stood steadfastly by Mahmoud throughout this entire ordeal, Dr. Noor Abdullah, Mahmoud's wife.
Hi, everyone. So just yesterday, after a long 104 days of separation, our family was finally reunited. Mahmoud was kidnapped from our home, and for weeks, we saw this administration try and orchestrate lies about Mahmoud, placing hurdle after hurdle to make this as difficult as possible for us. While we got some justice yesterday with Mahmoud's release, justice delayed is justice denied. And what was taken from us, we will never get back. He is free now, but we are not done, because this is bigger than one man, one family, or one moment. Mahmoud's release is a victory, but it's not justice. Justice is accountability. Justice is no more families ripped apart. Justice is a system that listens to truth instead of punishing it. To every official who signed off on his detention, you may have taken time from us, but you did not take our spirit. You tried to silence him, but look around you. His voice is stronger now than it has ever been, carried by each and every one of us here today. Mahmoud missed the birth of our son, but he will raise Dean with pride, strength, and purpose. And one day, our son will know that his father did not bow to fear. He will know that his father stood up when it was hardest and that the world stood with him. So from the bottom of my soul, thank you to every organizer, every advocate, every person who said his name, who refused to let him be forgotten. You brought him home. And we're not finished until no one is jailed for speaking the truth, until no one is silenced for defending human rights. We will not stop until Palestine is free. Thank you. Okay, well, I guess I will introduce the man of the hour. So my husband, Mahmoud Khalil, I don't know what else. He's my husband. He's an incredible man. He's the person you are all waiting to hear from. So without further ado, Mahmoud.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. And I don't know how now I will match Noor's amazing speech, so please forgive me. I would like first to ask the press if you could please either go to the side. I would like to see as much people there as possible.
No.
My bad, sorry. I was just trying to get
And I understand.
Well,
they want to get to the front.
Yeah,
well. Here I am. Here I am with you. First, I'm grateful to be standing freely next to you all. I'm grateful to my wife, Noor, whose support, love, and care has kept me upright. And I'm grateful to every single person who stood by me during this time. Of course, I'm also thankful of the amazing legal and the larger team, who without them, I wouldn't have done this. I would like to salute the courage of all students at Columbia and across the nation. These students who continue to protest, I want to honor especially my friends at Columbia University. Especially those who are currently battling expulsion and suspension for their consciousness stand. As many of you know, the Board of Trustees at Columbia, the shameful Board of Trustees at Columbia, is currently attempting to expel 15 more students and to suspend tens of others, basically stealing their future, their degrees, their labor, merely because these students are not afraid. These students are not afraid to stand for Palestine. Columbia University will do everything and anything it can to ensure that the words "Free Palestine" are not uttered anywhere near it. But while we are here, free Palestine! Free Palestine! Viva Palestina! Viva Palestina! I hope that Columbia University heard your chants. In fact, even today, Columbia University refused to allow this press conference and rally to be held at the gates. Just so that we cannot remind them that they fund the killing in Gaza. Well, Who is Mahmoud Khalil? That's what the administration has tried its best to portray me as someone who's violent. Mahmoud Khalil is a human rights defender. Mahmoud Khalil is a freedom fighter. Mahmoud Khalil is a refugee. Mahmoud Khalil is a father and husband. And above all, Mahmoud Khalil is Palestinian. Mahmoud Khalil is a Palestinian who refused to remain silent while watching a genocide in Palestine. A genocide that's, of course, committed by the genocidal state of Israel, that's funded by the US government, that's invested by Columbia University. It's often hard to find patients in ICE detention. The center is crowded with hundreds of people who are told that their existence is illegal, and not one of us knows when we can go free. At those moments, it was remembering a specific chant that gave me strength.
Excuse me.
I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win.
Excuse me.
Well, as you can see, students would dance and jump as they shout, I believe that we will win. In Gina, Louisiana, I found myself literally scratching this into my bunk bed and looking at it as I fell asleep and as I woke up. I find myself repeating it even now, knowing that I have won. In a small way, but by being free today. While I'm grateful to be here with you all, I must say that this is only the beginning of a longer fight towards justice. I want everyone to understand that my being here today is sweet, but it's not a victory. Not when Palestinians are still being killed under US bombs, and not when supporting their righteous struggle is so heavily criminalized. I must call the hypocrisy of Columbia University, a university that just 2 weeks ago said that they want to protect their international students. While over 100 years later, I haven't received a single call from this university. I also must call their double standards. How did we become targets of Israel-aligned groups? Because Columbia University failed to protect its students. Columbia University, in fact, emboldened these individuals to continue harass and harm students. The wave of repression that the Trump administration initiated with my detention was intended to silence the movement for Palestinian liberation. It was intended to scare people into silence. It was intended to distract us from the fact that the US government is a killing machine in Palestine and across the world. But they completely failed. Millions of people spoke up even louder that it is our responsibility to end this genocide, no matter the personal cost. No matter the personal cost. And that's exactly what I will continue trying to do. So long as I'm able, so long as I'm breathing. Finally, I want us to remember that there is still a Palestinian political prisoner in ICE detention, Liqa Kurdiya, who lost over 100 family members to the genocide in Gaza. She's now being held in Texas, but she remains steadfast in her advocacy for a free Palestine. Thank you, everyone.
Welcome home, Mahmoud Khalil. Welcome home, Mahmoud Khalil. Welcome home, Mahmoud Khalil. Welcome home, Mahmoud Khalil. Thank you, everyone.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
We're going to transition into a brief Q&A section. I'm going to just let the crowd know again that Mahmoud will be going out into the crowd, so please be patient as we go through this Q&A section. We're going to invite Mahmoud up, as well as some of Mahmoud's legal team, to ask questions to the press, to answer questions to the press. Sorry. Okay. First, we're going to have the legal team, whoever's just come up and say your names and spell them out for the press.
Ramzi Qasim from Clear, RAMZI. Thank you. KASSEM.
Bahar Azmi, AZMY, from the Center for Constitutional Rights.
Veronica Salama from the New York Civil Liberties Union.
Alina Das, ALINADAS.
Amy Greer, AMYGREER.
Ask the questions.
Okay, so we're going to have time for like 5-6 questions, and I know like folks are going to want, a lot of people are going to want questions. We will repeat the questions so that everyone can hear, and then we will move on. The first question I would like to take, though, I don't know where the reporter from The Spectator is. We'll take your first question. You don't have to come up to the mic or anything, but yeah, hi. Sorry to put you on the spot. So the question is for Mahmoud, you were a negotiator with the administration last year during the encampments. How do you feel about their silence now? Yeah? Okay.
Colombia administrators never disappoint. So I'm not surprised. This is very shameful because they are the ones who know me very well. They are the ones who in private, in fact, tell me that there is anti-Palestinian racism at Colombia, that there is a manufactured hysteria about
anti-Semitism at Columbia University because of the protests, but they don't dare to talk about that in public. So this is absolutely not surprising to me. Thank you.
Can you start off by describing what happened to you on March 8th, how you were taken, and then talk about how it feels to be here today?
So she's asking Mahmoud to describe what happened on March 8th when he was taken and how he feels today.
It felt like I was literally being kidnapped, where you have plainclothes agents literally snatching you off your apartment building without introducing themselves, without introducing an arrest warrant. I was mostly concerned about my then pregnant wife, Noor, that they basically cut me off of any means of communication for over 30 hours. These 30 hours were the most difficult time during the whole experience. The fact that you don't know what's happening, the fact that you don't know what will happen next, the fact that during the early hours of these 30 hours, they wouldn't tell me what I'm being accused of. So that definitely was frightening. And now it feels, great. It feels that the movement is winning, that the government is actually frightened of us. That's why they literally had to go to 1952 to find an excuse for my deportation.
Columbia University refused to file a legal submission in court in your support, unlike Tufts University did for Rumesa Oscar. Once you were arrested, did you feel that at least now Columbia University's administration will speak up? And second quick question is, at any point in time in your detention, did you even briefly consider giving up the legal case and possibly leaving the country?
That was a very long question. I'm repeating it so that the crowd can hear, just so people understand. So the question was, Columbia refused to file anything in the case, and unlike Tufts, which did file in the case of Rumesa, so how did you feel about that? And was there ever a moment when you felt like giving up the case and just leaving the country?
As I've mentioned, since I joined Columbia in early 2023, I knew that this university is anti-Palestinian, that they wouldn't actually do this. Maybe if there is a financial gain for them from doing that, they would have done it. I'm certain, because this is what Columbia cares about. They care about their money. And I don't remember a time where I considered giving up, because from the moment I got arrested, I knew that my case is righteous. I'm righteous. My speech should be celebrated, not punished. And this is what I will continue to do.
The question is, what's your message to student protesters who might be fearful based on what happened to you?
We will win. I believe that we will win. And I believe that we will win. Students across the country have always led us toward what's right. They were our moral compass. This happened during the Vietnam War, during apartheid South Africa, during fossil fuels demonstrations, and it's happening now. That's why this administration is so worried that they're literally doing everything in their power to suppress us because we are winning. We are literally winning, and this is just the beginning of the end, the beginning of the end of the U.S. complicity in the genocide in Gaza, the U.S. unconditional support to the genocidal state of Israel, and to Colombia's complicity in Israel crimes.
Sorry. Go ahead. So he's asking about Mahmoud's take on the Foreign Secretary's comments on Mahmoud being a foreign threat to the country, and then how has this changed his life? How has this experience changed his life?
Well, the allegation is that my speech allegation are undermining the U.S. foreign policy of combating anti-Semitism. Well, first of all, Israel is the top foreign policy threat to the United States. Second, it's ironic that this is coming from a person, Marco Rubio, who regularly meets with neo-Nazis, who in fact endorses right-wing parties in Europe. Germany's AfD, the most extreme neo-Nazi party in Europe. And what's actually threatening the interest of anti-Semitism, of combating anti-Semitism, is the unconditional support to a country that's waging a genocide in the name of the Jewish people. Of course, the Palestine movement is diverse. There's no place for any kind of hatred, whether it is anti-blackness, anti-Semitism, or any sort of hate. And we made that clear. The fact that the administration it has been over 100 days, there isn't any shred of evidence that what I did or said is wrong, whether it's First Amendment or not. There's no shred of evidence about that. And that alone should suffice. Your second question? I mean, this absolutely impacted my life in so many ways. I did not opt to be in this position. And I absolutely don't want to be the face of the student movement because there are much more students who are much braver than me. But here I am. I will definitely take that with pride. I would continue to advocate for Palestinian rights, no matter what.
So, yeah, one more question. One more question.
Thanks for the French News Agency. I'm just wondering, can you tell us what was your daily life in the detention center? What are the conditions for people over there?
That's a great question. So the question is, can you tell us what your daily life was like in the detention center? Wow, that's a lot of police. The question is, can you tell us? We have one more question. If you guys can hang on one sec. What was your daily life like in the detention center? And And what were the conditions like for everybody else in the center? Okay, and then this is the last question. And just so you know, there aren't going to be any one-on-ones after this. Now, after that, we'll transition to something else.
That's a great question, and you know, I share a dorm, or I shared a dorm with over 70 men. Absolutely no privacy, lights on all the time. I spend my days like listening to one tragic story after another, listening to a father of 4 whose wife is battling cancer and he's in detention. I listened to a story of an individual who have been in the United States for over 20 years. All his children are American, yet he's deported. It's so normal in detention to see men cry because they can't understand why they are there. They know they don't have documents, but does this actually mean that they should be detained? What's happening behind ICE detention gates is horrendous. It's a stain on the US Constitution. It's a stain on the US consciousness, because I fear that in a couple of decades, we would look back at what's happening now and regret that. But it's actually taking toll on real people's life, unfortunately. But as I will continue to fight for Palestine, I will continue to fight for their rights as well.
Thank you all. This is the official end of the press portion of this program. Press is free to disperse. The press conference is over, and I'm going to be passing the mic to the Palestine Youth Movement, who will lead us into chanting and let everyone know what will be up next. Press is free to disperse now. Thank you.
Free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! We want justice, you say how? Lift the siege on Gaza now! We want justice, you say how? Lift the siege on Gaza now! We want justice, you say how? Stop the deportations now! We want justice, you say how? Stop the deportations now! We want justice, you say how?